We're going to get going, and then I'm just going to hand you the keys and run away. Okay. Well, again,
Gotcha.
hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight to the webinar with Colin Martin, and put on by myself. Colin is going to talk about stealth persuasion. There it is, capturing the emotions of your website visitors. And of course, you guys, a lot of you guys, if you are on this webinar, you probably know Colin. And if not, then then open your ears, because he knows what he's talking about. And if you've ever been to any of our other webinars, just with myself or with Colin and myself, we're always talking about some sort of technique or some sort of product or some sort of website or some sort of strategy for you to market your business online. That could be YouTube, it could be Facebook, it could be making your own products, it could be anything. Any of those things that we talk about all need good copywriting. And that is what Colin is. He's the expert on copywriting. He's written many books on many different topics, but he has written a book on copywriting, and he has his own product, and he knows what he's talking about. So pay attention to him. It's going to be very educational. Yes, we will have a recording, and take it away, Colin.
All right, Mark, I appreciate that great intro. And this is the Stealth Persuasion, capturing the emotions of your website visitors. And I'm Colin Martin, and I'm over there on the left, and Mark is on the right, the good-looking dude on the right. And let me know if you guys can hear me okay, because I want to make sure that we're communicating okay. So if you can hear me okay, put a good okay or yes into the chat box. Barbara says she sure can. Good, good. Haven't done a webinar in about 3 months, so I want to make sure my microphone and equipment's working okay. So what we have here is the Stealth Persuasion webinar, and we want to talk about writing copy that people use, or that you can use to make people fall in love with you, and your website visitors come to you and they trust you and build credibility and make purchases from you. So that's what the whole thing is about. And you don't have to be a professional copywriter to learn the 3 simple formulas I'm going to show you tonight to capture the emotions of your visitors. Okay, what is persuasion content? If you don't know what that is, obviously, it's emotional words, words that touch people's heartstrings, that make them want to buy from you and trust you. It's on the internet, you can't meet people face to face, so you definitely want to try to build credibility as best you can without being able to touch people, and you're able to do that tonight with the words I'm going to show you. Customer-focused words, those are words that bring the visitor into your marketing, so that you're not just talking about you, you're talking about them and the things that are important to them. How do you do that? Storytelling is a good one, where you can use your life experiences and the things that you've gone through that make you unique as an individual, and present those in a marketing type situation to help guide people to the different solutions that they're searching for. And of course, I'm going to show you the benefits, of course, that matter to people the most. And it might not be exactly what you think. You'll be really surprised by that. Now, look at this giant number, okay? That's huge, 600 million active websites. Okay, that number can be quite scary to some people, because think of the competition. And you get on there, you build your website, you get your WordPress, you get on there, and then you realize there's just so much competition on the internet that you're not sure if you're ever going to make any money or not. It can be quite scary, but the good news is that most websites are just automated stuff that people just write like a brochure, and they're not real personable. They don't have the kind of language that brings people in, touches their hearts and the minds of the readers. Barely, I put 2% there, but I wouldn't even doubt if it was just as little as 1% of the people who write and build websites and try to market on them are, they're just not touching the visitor in the way they should, relating to the reason why they're there. And I'm going to show you exactly why your readers are there and your visitors coming to your site. A good site will tell stories. It'll have content that relates to 3 key things, and I'm going to show you, that matter most to your customers. Those kind of sites, the ones that you can have after this is over with tonight, will make money and, better yet, change lives, because I know that most of us on this call are we have the kinds of businesses where we're trying to help people. I have this story where my kid just moved out last year, and he is out of my range of influence. He's out there doing his own thing, being his own man. I'm not able to show him or teach him anything anymore. He doesn't listen to me anymore. So when he looks for answers to his problems, he searches the internet, as most young people do. And I'm trusting that people like you will have the answers for him to solve his issues. Since I'm not there to take care of him anymore, I'm trying to help all these self-help people and to have a great website where people can have their questions answered in a true and trustful way. And writing the content is exactly how you make that happen. There's some common misconceptions about how you write for a website. First, a lot of us just tend to overload our visitors with information. We're proud of our businesses, we're proud of our education, so we're going to tell our visitor everything we know. That's a misconception that we're going to finish with tonight. Also, writing should be perfect and grammatically correct and stuffy. Well, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, if you write more like you talk and more in your own voice, and a very casual type of writing can make a big difference in how your visitor reacts to the content. Writing in third person. There's a lot of us who write in third person. We don't write in first person, talking about I did this and I did that. We have these websites that say, Colin Martin is an expert in copywriting, and like someone's speaking for us. But it's easier to make a connection when you're talking directly to your. Also, we had a tendency to constantly tell the reader or the visitor what to do. And you want to be a little bit careful of that in terms of how you lead your visitor to the solutions that they're looking for. And we're going to go over that as well. Well, who am I? If you guys don't know me, I'm sure most of you know me, but my name is Colin Martin, and I've been working for Tom Antion for the last 6 years, almost 7 years, where I was his marketing manager, and I wrote a lot of his sales letters and worked with thousands of his mentees. Of course, it's his former marketing manager because I no longer work there. And in 2010, he actually gave me a promotion and made me the head instructor at his internet marketing training center. And you got to really know what you're doing to work there. So I was really happy with that and very proud that he did that. Of course, it's his former head instructor because now, okay, Tom didn't fire me and I didn't have an accident and die a horrible death or anything. I'm the former head instructor and former marketing manager of Tom's because I took off a 10-week trip into the wilderness with nothing but that little blue pup tent up in the left-hand corner. And look at the pictures I took of the mountaintops and the waterfalls. And it was a spiritual journey. And I want to tell you something. The idea that I was able to afford to take off for 10 weeks and leave my job and still have money coming into to the bank like that has everything to do with the way I write my content. It is part of the success that I've had in my internet businesses, that I just don't put websites out that just don't really say anything, but they say everything that I'm trying to convey, and that helps sell products. So I like the idea that I was able to 10 weeks in the wilderness. Now, I had a spiritual journey, and that was fun. And I went to lose weight and kind of cure my diabetes. But the main thing I went for was to go gem hunting. So I found a treasure out in western North Carolina in emeralds, rubies, and aquamarine. You can see those aquamarines in my hand. There are gigantic, beautiful aquamarines. Over to the left are emeralds. The top ones in the red are rubies. These are gorgeous gems. I was so incredibly fortunate to find those kinds of things. And that's really what I went for. And it was just a fantastic experience, life-changing, okay? Of course, now that I don't work for Tom anymore, I've been able to become a master sales letter copywriter. And you can see the different sales letters that I've written. And I love writing. I love what I do. In fact, I've probably written most of the sales letters that if you ever bought anything from Tom, including any of his ebooks or any of his blowout products, I wrote all the sales letters. And you probably thought Tom wrote them, but it was actually me. He put his trust in me to write his sales letters that collectively probably made at least millions of dollars that he's made. He's got a gigantic list, and it was very impressive for me to be able to do that. Also, I'm the top 1% of creative content copywriters on Elance. Check that out. I was actually surprised myself. I couldn't believe it. But I took the test there at Elance and made top 1%. Plus, I'm in the top 10% of internet marketers. So That's out of 1,300,000 members. So I'm really proud of that. So tonight, if you don't believe I know what I'm talking about, that's fine, but you're still going to learn some really cool stuff tonight. And I also want to thank you for being here. I want to thank Mark. He's a wonderful guy. I love his community. I'm very lucky tonight to be presenting to such a wonderful group of people. And I want to thank you for spending time tonight to learn this stuff from me and to help change the way you write for the better. And that means to me that you're serious about your business and you're serious about helping people as best you can, and I appreciate that and appreciate giving me the opportunity to do this. What can you expect from this webinar? Well, my promise to you, okay, you're going to learn the words that push emotional triggers. Also, you're going to learn what benefits that your visitors care about the most, and it's probably surprising what they are. It might not be what you think. Also, how to eliminate sales resistance, which is always that nasty barrier that people automatically put up as soon as they go into any kind of business, especially the internet. We want to be able to bring that down in a stealth way so that you can sell to people and they don't even know it. And then, of course, you want to stick around right after the end of the webinar. I'm going to have a Q&A where you can ask me anything, not just about tonight and copywriting and anything. You can ask me about my gems and my emeralds and my trip or any other internet marketing stuff. Remember, I was the internet marketing head instructor at the school, so actually I know a lot of stuff, and if you want to ask me anything, stick around for this Q&A. It's very popular and it's a very valuable resource. Also, I'm going to show you my 3 secret formulas. The super awesome benefits identifier formula. Whew, that's a mouthful, okay? But don't be scared. It's super easy. The wee calculation formula, okay? Now, that does not mean, has nothing to do with the trip, going to the trip to the bathroom or anything. It's an interesting way, an online free resource I'm going to show you that'll have very telling results about how you write your web content. And of course, the love and conflict secret formula, which I actually made myself. And that's why I love it so much. It will literally get people to fall in love with your content without any kind of call to action or sales resistance. And of course, if you see my little smiling face there, you can see that recent picture of me taking a mall photo booth, just like last week. Anytime you see that smiley face, you want to take note that it's a super stealthy trick that I'm showing you, and you want to jot it down in bud, underline it, mark it, whatever you got to do, but want to pay attention. Don't fear writing. A lot of people do. Sometimes it can be just underneath public speaking in terms of exposing yourself on the web. You don't have to be a professional writer to do this. And God forbid you don't have to hire a professional writer to do this. This is so easy that you're going to have an absolutely wonderful time figuring this stuff out. I'll make it as easy as possible on you so you won't have to fear writing ever again. But of course, I want to give you a free gift, as Mark promised in his video before, when you're registering, about giving you a free gift for the early birds, and I appreciate you guys getting here on time and everything, so I'm going to award somebody a special prize tonight. And if you want the prize, put heck yes in the chat box and pick somebody at random, whoever says heck yes the loudest. And what it is, I'm going to give away, and this is really cool, the social bookmarking webinar system that Mark and I created about how to use social bookmarking sites such as Big and Red to bring avalanche of traffic to your site and business and publicity, and how to use it to capture newscasters, and it's just a wonderful system. And I'm seeing everyone freaking out here. I love it. So I'm going to just zoom up and down here and see, pick out the lucky winner. Then the lucky winner tonight is Terry Ward. Congratulations, Terry. I'm going to give you the social bookmarking power system that Mark and I created. It's a whole bunch of killer videos. Yeah, Terry says, yeah, I love it. And it's great. You're going to love it. So we're definitely going to be giving that away. So I appreciate you guys being here, and stick around because we're going to give away a couple more prizes as well. Okay, why is emotional content important? This is the good stuff. Well, first off, it builds rapport, trust, and credibility, and that's exactly what you need on the internet to do business. Take a drink of water here, and let's see. Because you're not able to do business or shake hands with somebody, building trust and credibility on the internet is extremely important to making sales. And emotional content, how you touch your visitor and let them know that you understand them and you're inside their head, is part of building that credibility. When people identify that you're one of the people that is inside their head and can relate to why they're there, and who trust you and find you credibility, they keep coming back. And in bringing visitors back is extremely important. We all know repeat customers are where the money really is, and repeat website visitors are how you keep high search positioning as well. Decreases bounce rate. Okay, what is bounce rate? Let me explain that. Bounce rate's a fancy term for how long somebody stays on your site before they leave, which in today's market, if you look at the statistics, people only stay on a website for about 4 seconds before they go, this isn't for me. So we're going to use emotional content to keep people on the site longer. Also, you want to tear down the walls of resistance. That's very important in terms of making sales on the internet. Just having people be more open to your products and your services and your philosophy is important to making money. I want to talk about the new rules of search now. This has everything to do with Panda and Penguin and all this kind of stuff. And what it is, Google is actually going to ban low content websites. If a website content just basically stinks, there's no reason Google's going to push it to the top of the search engines any longer. Lucky for you, you're going to learn how to write better content so you'll actually rise above the crappy competition out there. Also, content that people share, having share buttons and them sharing on Facebook and Twitter, or being able to do that and helps your content go viral, and it helps with your search positioning as well. Also, what kind of experience does the visitor have? Do they love it? Did they go around the site? Do they learn something? Did they get results? Did they find solutions? All that matters in terms of search positioning. And of course, you get higher results for websites that people like. Well, how does Google know what somebody likes? There's 4 ways that Google knows that people actually are enjoying the website instead of just coming and leaving. It has everything to do with how many times a visitor comes back. Google can tell that. If they're commenting, leaving comments. If they're sharing it and hitting the share buttons and sharing it with their social networking sites and their friends. And how long they stay, called stickiness. Google can tell how long somebody stays on a site. Using all 4 of those criteria, they're going to start to reward sites with higher search results. And of course, the better content is what makes all these happen. Emotional content means understanding why your reader and your visitor is there. It's about talking about things that your competition may not be talking about, or taboo emotions. You definitely want to talk about things that other people refuse to talk about. You need to rise above and make sure that you're addressing the real reasons that they're there and learn to identify those. To be able to do that, you have to have comfort in expressing your own opinions. So the better you are at writing how you feel, the more emotionally you're going to touch your visitor. The first step in trying to write in your own voice is to avoid jargon. Jargon is talking like a brochure, talking like you're a used car salesman or some kind of a dishwasher salesman, or just a brochure sounding. You want to create an emotional connection with why they're there. Jargon can be can turn people off, and this was actually sent to me by a customer, and he wanted me to critique it. And he says, our weight loss system has helped thousands of women just like you to lead healthier and happier lives. That doesn't sound too bad. In fact, I thought it was okay, and he was getting some business with it. But I decided to tweak it a little bit, and I wanted to talk about the benefit of excitement and what does it really feel like to lose weight instead of just some kind of system that helps thousands of people. What's it really feel like to lose weight? So I rewrote this as this. Butterflies of excitement ran through Lisa's body when she stepped onto the scale this morning. Our product had reworked. When's the last time you felt that way? So I talked about excitement. And I named an actual person, Lisa, to make it more personal. I talked about how the product had really worked. And then I posed a question, when's the last time you felt that way, to try to get an affirmative or negative answer out of the reader, which helps bring them into lower resistance and bring them into the story a little bit. And when I rewrote this and sent this to my client, she had a 22% increase in sales just by personalizing this a little bit. You also want to avoid process. The second step is avoiding process. Process is explaining how your business works. A lot of us are very technical. We're kind of geeky sometimes, and it's okay to be like that, but you don't want to write too much about how your business works. You want to concentrate on how your business helps your prospect. What is it that they find most important? Most people are just looking for an answer to a problem. They look to your website as being a solution to a problem they were searching for. That's 99% of why people search, is to find a solution to a problem. They don't really want to be have it explained in technical detail. So another client had sent me this little snippet here. Our new technology will clean your carpets with more power and reliability. Super Clean does the job that others can't. Well, that sounds okay. Again, it's explaining how they're different than their competition, and it's really nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to talk about what really matters to the people who are trying to get their carpets cleaned. And I kind of thought about time and their family. So I rewrote it as fresh, clean carpets for your children to play on and more time to spend with them. Yes, Super Clean can do all of that. It's the same exact length, just using different words, concentrating on children and time, the two things that people really care about the most. People don't really understand the ins and outs of the technology of a carpet vacuum cleaner company, but they do understand that having carpets cleaned for them creates a fresher environment and more time to spend with their family. And when I sent that to the client, there was a 32% increase in new customers signing up. So I was really proud of that. Another thing, step 3, you want to avoid hype. And we all hype out. And if you ever look at a lot of internet marketing ads, and I was guilty of this as well for a long time, of explaining how much money someone can make. And now that's okay, because people do believe that money is important. Obviously it is. It buys all the comfort here that I would usually be talking about. But since everyone's talking about money, sometimes people are just numb to it now. And when a visitor comes to a website and sees that they can make millions of dollars a day or whatever, they tend to put up a sales resistance or maybe doubt that. Don't give them a chance to doubt that. Just talk about things that really matter and talk about comfort and identify some benefits that make them feel better. This client sent me this copy here. Make $21,485.62 a day with this proven system of internet affiliate websites. 130,000 customers can't be wrong. And if you think that people don't really write ads like that, I was kind of shocked at that. I just saw this one create 23 different income streams and earn upwards of $2,000 while you sleep at night. If I had to manage 23 different income streams, I would be up all night. I would never get any sleep. That would drive me insane. And recruit without ever having to cold call, I really don't want to recruit anybody. I'm not in the military. And this free service and credit card is not required. Yeah, sure. I've heard that before. So, I mean, that is just, that's just scary ad copy. But you see this stuff all the time. You see it come in your email. I see it all the time. I tried to write it a little bit different. I wanted to talk about what does money really mean to me, or to any kind of fictional character or somebody in my place trying to make money. What does it really mean to me? So I rewrote this as, Bob no longer worries about being fired. The lifestyle he's created with our affiliate income websites has given him freedom and peace of mind. Truly, you can talk about how much money you want to make, but most people are trying to stay at their job, or they're trying to feed their family without being laid off. If they're able to use any kind of affiliate marketing system to make money, then they don't have to worry about losing their jobs. That creates peace of mind. That's the benefit that you can use in your copy to rise above the competition that loves just to talk about the big bucks. When I wrote this and sent this back to the client, there was a 44%, which is huge, increase in the click-through rates for their business. So we're talking about touching on the nerve and the heart of why people really come to a website. If somebody is wanting to make money, throwing big numbers at them can kind of scare them a little bit or create the illusion that there's a lot of work involved and they may not be able to muster up it. If you talk about the benefits of why people, what they find important and what they really want out of making more money, it makes them feel more comfortable and more apt to move forward. What are the benefits? Well, the big ones here, I have 8, and then I have 3 big ones. The big 3 are family and freedom. These are the things that money can't buy. Now, the other 5 here, peace, dreams, comfort, ego, and prestige, that's the kind of things that money can buy. And as long as you talk about those, then people will automatically create and just fill in the gap that I will be able to make money using this system if I can have all the dreams and comfort and prestige that I can muster. You don't have to throw around big numbers. But if you talk about time, family, and freedom, those are the real benefits that people cannot buy with money. And if you can give someone time and more time with their family, and their family creates a peace of mind and freedom, then you have locked on to the emotional triggers that make people want to purchase from you. What I do with these, this benefit identifier formula, is I just pick any 2 or 3 of these, and I'll write them down in a color code, and I'll just insert them into my copy. I want to write down 3 of benefits just to make sure that I'm including those important benefits into my copy. I also got this, the client sent me this copy here, and it was really cool. I really liked it. She said, "We've been so pleased with how popular the juice has been that we got back into the kitchen and have made some delicious juice blends, which we think everyone will enjoy just as much." I think that sounds great. They're talking about how popular their juice is. That's an affirmative. They got back in the kitchen, like they're sitting there slaving away. Everybody enjoys that and doesn't kind of takes away from the big factory automation stuff. And delicious juice blends. I really like this copy, but I just thought, it's missing the 3 little things here that the benefits that really matter. And I thought, well, let me write these down in a little color-coded form here, and let me rewrite exactly using my free benefit. So, and this is very simple. It's actually even shorter than the one they wrote. So I rewrote it as, you can choose from our delicious apple and raspberry recipe or totally tasty tropical, depending on whether you need to be transported to a serene country orchard or a desert island. Now look at what I did here to change this copy. I threw in my 3 random benefits from the list before, and there'll be slides of this so you'll know exactly what benefits, if you didn't catch, we're able to write those down. But you can check the slides out during the recording that you'll be issued tomorrow. And I wanted to make sure I included them in. So freedom. Well, what's freedom in terms of juice or any kind of consumer item? It's choice. Choice gives me a freedom that I don't have to just buy whatever you're pitching. So I like to be able to use the word choose because it makes people relax. Also, I threw in apple and raspberry and totally tasty tropical to help build the brand a little bit. They talked about their juices in the first copy, but they didn't name them. Naming the juices is an important part of branding. So you want to make that a little bit more personal. And then I thought about peace. So I threw the word in serene. And that just makes people feel comfortable. Sometimes when I'm eating at a restaurant or drinking a juice, I can almost taste like I'm somewhere else, like I'm in New York or on a desert island or someplace like that. And I wanted to throw that element in there. And also an orchard or a desert island. So I wanted the idea of the juices to take people away. And I just thought this was a little bit more personal and a little bit better copy. So when I sent that back to the customer, they really enjoyed that, and they've been having a great time with that. But I want to point out something kind of sneaky here. There is a secret formula here that a lot of people have used in the past, especially in sales. You might have learned it if you were ever in sales at all or went to marketing school. It's embedded right in this copy, and you may not be able to see it, but it has a huge impact psychologically on what people think about this. And let me point it out to you if you can't see it. If you look at the bold letters here, you'll see that the first one says we, and we. And the one I wrote says you and you without using the word we. Why is this important? This is called customer-focused words. There's inward marketing where you talk about we, our, and I, and then there's outward marketing. You and yours. Outward marketing reaches out to your customer and uses the words to bring them in to your philosophy and your marketing. Inward marketing means you're just talking about yourself too much and you're not really paying attention to the needs of your reader. Now, I put a little heart there because if anyone's gone on dates out there, and I know you have, everyone's gone on dates and online dates, and you meet somebody for the first time, you usually don't get anywhere if all you do is talk about yourself all night, okay? You need to listen and you ask questions. What do you do for a living? What are your favorite things? What are your dreams? When you include your date like that, you get a lot further, and you guys know what I mean when you start getting further with it, okay? It's very important that you don't just talk about yourself all the time. And in marketing, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to reach out and bring people in. Well, I've got a wee calculation formula. It's a free online resource. I'm going to show you guys. This is really cool. It's at that long address down at the bottom. Now, you don't have to write it down now, go to it, but it'll be here in the recording. But you need to go to this resource. There's a place where you can go and type in text, and it'll tell you how often you're typing in or writing about yourself as opposed to your customer. And the formula really is you want to talk about your customers 2 times as often as you talk about yourself. So what I want to do here real quick, I'm going to go ahead and go to the WeWe calculator, which is over here. This is at futurenow.com/wee-wee.htm. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to test out some text. Okay, I want to look at some text here that I have. Never mind that beautiful young lady there. But I have an email here. Now, before I send out any email, I want to put it in the calculator. So this is an email I just sent out the other day, and I want to make sure that it's appropriate. So I go to the WeWe calculator. There's a little link here that says run the text or ad copy on the calculator. So I'm going to click on that, and you can paste any text from, it can be an email, it can be an ad, it can be web page content, anything. I'm going to pop it in. That's my entire email you can see there. And I'm going to put test my WeWe score. And it says, ooh, check this out. 92% customer rate, 13 customer-focused words, and only 1 self-focused word. So I mention my customers 13 times as often as I speak about myself. That's excellent. Okay, I can even go to a web page, and it can be any page. This is my brand new sales letter I just wrote for my subscription plan. If you guys want, you can always ask me how to do that. But I'm going to go back to the WeWe calculator, and I'm going to pop this in. Paste it. Now, this is my sales letter. And sales letters are extremely important that you want to talk about your customer and include them in, because you're really trying to make money with a sales letter. 5 customer-focused words to 1 self-focused word. So 5 times as often as I speak about myself. Excellent. So you're starting to see a pattern here. Now anybody can go to the WeWe calculator and pop in any of their web content and easily just rewrite it using we and yours, or not we, but yours, you and yours, and start including your customer into the marketing by using customer-focused words. If you feel like you're saying I or we too much, you want to back that out and try to reverse that a little bit until you're able to reach at least a 2 times formula. So that's really, I test out everything on there, and that's really a lot of fun. And I appreciate, I don't know who in the world, developed this thing, but it's totally free. It's online, and you can go there anytime. And you want to make sure. There's a question here I got about that. Terry says, when you use the word we, meaning yourself and the customer, is it still inward focused or neutral? Anytime you use the word we, you want to be careful, Terry, that you're assuming that the customer thinks that you're talking about you and them. Usually when someone's reading we, all they really see is you and your company. So be careful how you use we, and just go through your marketing, your text and your copy, and make sure that you're not sounding like you're just talking about yourself. So the WeWe calculator will automatically look at that and think that it's an inward marketing, so it may not be as neutral as you think. And Shirley says, what about mentioning your company name? Well, the company name also helps with your branding, but there's only so much that you want to mention on that as well. People don't have to mention the company name too much in the copy. What people really care about is what's in it for them. They don't really care about who you are, where you came from, how great you are, and how much better you are than the competition. They want to know, how do I cure my diabetes? How do I cure my depression? How do I make more money? How do I feel comfortable? How do I? You have to focus on why your customer is there, reading your material, without being too salesy, pushy, or anything of the above like that. So, and we have a Q&A, so you guys can ask any other questions at the end, so that's fine. Todd says the calculator is great. Thank you. I enjoy it as well. And it's just a fantastic resource, and I love it. So let's move on. The last big formula here is the love conflict formula. And what is that? And I kind of made this up myself, and it's been extremely powerful in my marketing. And ever since I used it, I've just 10 times the amount of sales, literally. And it's been the greatest thing that I ever sort of came up with. And it has everything to do with creative writing. And creative writing, everyone's read their, fiction. Fiction's wonderful, and storytelling is wonderful. There's usually 3 elements to creative writing and 3 elements to an ad. It's usually love, conflict, and resolution. So for instance, with creative writing, the love would be Marissa was a beautiful 14-year-old girl. She lived in a beautiful town, had lots of friends, went to school, straight A student, had a few problems here and there with her parents, but generally was a great kid and everyone loved her. The conflict. Then a van rolled up one day while she was walking home from school, and they abducted her, wrapped her in a bag, and bound her feet and her mouth and her hands, and stole her. The resolution. The dad came, kicked the bad guy's butts, and saved the day. Typical fiction story. In fact, that's pretty much the outline of Taken, the movie with Liam Neeson. So, it's a 2-hour movie, and basically it has these 3 elements, and these 3 elements are very popular in creative writing. Ads have borrowed that as well. So you will see that, let me change this. Sorry about that. Ads will have love and conflict and a call to action. Now, for instance, and here will be love. You have great children, and you're raising your children to be good people. Conflict. Your child have gotten into drugs, and they're hanging around with bad people. What are you going to do? The call to action would be, call us, and we'll help. We'll definitely help get your kid off the drugs, and we'll change him and save him. Your typical ad always builds up a story, presents a conflict, and has a call to action. Now, this is a super trick that you want to make sure that you pay attention to, because you see the smiley face. I want to make sure, can everyone hear me okay out there still? Okay. Just want to make sure the computer isn't blowing up. So if you can hear me okay, go ahead and put yes in the chat box. Okay, great. Thank you, Terry. In ads and most things you see on the internet, you'll see love, conflict, and a call to action. Brooks says C. Thank you, Brooks. Now, I just pointed out the typical ads use all three of these elements. But only two of these elements are needed for powerful copy. One of these elements creates resistance. And I want you to put in the chat box for me what you think, which one would be better to take out of copy to make it more powerful. Would it be love? Would it be conflict? Or call to action? We want to go ahead and put that in. Let's say Todd says love and action. Bob says call to action. Which one would you guys take away? Brooke says call to action. Tom says love. Yusuf says call to action. Mike says love. Barbara says take out conflict. Terry says conflict. Okay, these are all really good answers. They really are. Diane says conflict. Thank you, Diane. Rachel says love. All right, let me show you something here. I want to tell you a little story. You guys might have seen this before on YouTube, but I want to tell you a story. There was this a blind beggar that sat at the square every afternoon trying to, raise money for something to eat and a place to stay. He sat there pretty much every afternoon, and the people pretty much got used to him. They seen him there all the time. They just went about their day, and they just played, and they laughed, and they carried on, and they basically ignored him. Well, he was blind, and he just needed some help, and he needed a handout, and people basically just didn't really want to give anymore. They would just kind of pass by, and he could hear them walk by, and he needed that money to eat and to take care of himself. Well, one day this woman came by, and she was walking by. She'd been by plenty of times before, and she stopped and kind of looked at the sign that he had. She picked it up and kind of flipped it over, and she decided that she would start writing something else. The beggar didn't have any idea what she was writing. He could smell her perfume and knew that she was writing something on the sign because he could hear the magic marker writing, and she was just fervently writing something different. So she went ahead and put it back and went back to work that day. She was on her lunch break. Something miraculous happened as soon as she wrote something different. People started to give money, and they kept giving, and he kept hearing the coins hit the cardboard, and he desperately throw them in the can as fast as he could. And people came by and they gave more and more, and they kept giving and giving. And as the day went on, people just kept giving. He couldn't believe it. He was just so happy. And he could pick up his can. He could tell by the weight of the can that he'd be able to eat that day and have a place to stay. He was very, very happy with his results. Well, about the end of the day, the same woman came back, and she looked down, and he knew it was her because he could smell the same perfume on her. And he asked her, he said, "What did you do to my sign, love?" And she said, "It's the same sign. I just used different words." Now, what did she write on the sign that changed everything? Now, usually when I see this, it's kind of chokes me up. I really like that one. She wrote, "It's a beautiful day," and I can't see it. It really kind of touches the heartstrings. I want to ask you again, just from that example, which one would you remove? The love, the conflict, or the call to action? Barbara says call to action. Go ahead and write that down in your chat box. The first sign, yeah, everyone got it. Yeah, look at that call to action, action CDA, Bob, Todd, Mike, Yusuf, Tom, everyone got it. Diane, you guys are great. The first sign he had, I'm blind, please help. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with saying what's wrong and asking for help? There's nothing wrong with that. It's the conflict and a call to action. It's very forward and it makes sense. But she wrote with no call to action. She just wrote love, it's a beautiful day, and conflict, I can see it. The first sign no one gave. And the second message they gave like crazy. Why? Why did this happen? Because often the call to action creates immediate sales resistance for many visitors. When you talk about love, which he didn't, and the beggar didn't have on his first sign, it was just very straightforward, conflict and call to action. Where was the love? Where's the love, people? Okay? She put some love in there, and that can be a story or something that brings a resistance down. When you do that, you have to trust your reader and your visitor to make the right move without strong calls to action, being pushy, or being salesy. You can turn people off or put up a wall of resistance by asking them to do something. If you put up something that they need to fill in the gaps, like they filled in the gaps on, they didn't need to be told to give because they felt the love and then the conflict, they felt bad and they opened their heart. And often with the internet or any kind of ads, you'll see that we don't do it that way, that we just talk about what's wrong and how we can fix it, or what's wrong and making somebody fix it. So you want to trust your visitor. So I invented this love and conflict, and they're color-coded, and it's a formula and you can use. Love first, conflict second. These are great for headlines, ads, email subject lines, tweets, Facebook updates, anything that you write can have everything to do with this love and conflict formula. Love, your product can help people. The conflict, but no one's buying it. Well, that makes me want to look and see what the rest of the story is. That's making me curious. It's building curiosity about what am I talking about? That's what the reader wants to know. If the real estate market is recovering, why will 40% of agents lose their job this year? I met the soulmate of my dreams, then he disappeared without a trace. Now that's a conflict. That's just terrible. Here's a good one. Often a bridesmaid, never a bride. These are things that capture people's curiosity and attention and want to read further, which is exactly how you grab the heartstrings of the people, bring them into your philosophy, and lead them to a solution and to making more money. You're so in love with your boyfriend, but he just left you for another woman. I'm not just going to leave that. If that happened to me, I want to read further. I want to say, what is he talking about? What is it, a book? Is it a product? Is it advice? What I got to know what's going on. So it builds curiosity. You're a great public speaker and you're not making any money. Most public speakers I know aren't making anywhere near enough money, or they never believe they are. That's universal. You can plug in any kind of industry in the place of public speaker and you'll capture the attention. You're exercising and feeling great, but you're slowly dying inside. Now I had a client use that exact phrase that I wrote for them, and it just tripled the amount of opt-ins that they had by creating that sense of conflict, because they wanted to know why they were dying even though they felt good. So you're trusting your reader to make the next move, and that's extremely important in high conversions here. I want you guys just for a second here to try one of these love and conflict for yourself, something that in your business that you do. Try just a short phrase, and I'm going to pick a winner, one that I think is the best. I'm going to go ahead and read some of them. You guys go ahead and type your love and conflict sentence in the chat box, and the neatest one that really understands it the most, I'm going to give away another prize, because I'm very generous like that, and I love doing stuff like that. So if you guys can go ahead and try this. Tara says, you're eating less and exercising more, but still not losing weight. That's good. I like that. Let's see a couple more here from you guys. I'll give you a second to type those in. Dun, 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 dun. Be like Jeopardy. Here, I'll do the Jeopardy theme song. Mike says, oh, wow, you guys are going fast here. Let me read quick. Todd says, I would love to learn how to paint, but you don't have the time or skill. That's interesting. Mike says, you love Jesus, but your friends don't even know him. That's pretty powerful. That's really powerful, Mike. I like that one. Erica says, you always wanted to be married, so why do you feel so trapped and unhappy? Wow, that's a good one, Erica. I like that. That really hits to the heart of what a lot of people think, trust me. Diane says, we all need to think in a new way, but how do we do that? That's interesting. Shirley says, you're reading your Bible, but you can't find the answers that you want from God. That's pretty powerful, too. I know a lot of personal friends that are feeling that exact same way. Barbara says, help your child be a powerful learner now because 90% of the brain develops before age 5. That's very interesting, too. That builds a lot of pain there, and that's some decent conflict there, Barbara. That really makes me want to read further. Gary says, his message fired up the employees, but no one listened to him. That's really good. Brooke says, you're making trades, but you aren't scoring any moolah. I like that, Brooke. That's funny. And sometimes you can be humorous with this if you want. It doesn't have to be like all serious, you know. That's pretty neat. I like that. That's exactly me too, Brooks. You know what I mean? Roger says, your website looks beautiful, but no one is buying anything. Tell me, Roger, that's about as universal as it gets in terms of conflict. That's why we're here tonight. And Tom says, you're making great money, but you feel broke inside. That's really good. I like that. All right. These were fantastic. You guys did. I can't believe it. You understand the love and conflict. When you start writing like this, no matter what it is, and it could be sales headlines and all sorts of stuff, just think of this love and conflict, and you'll see a huge increase in how people react to your content. When people react to your content and start to love and trust you and you build credibility, you will make more money. I guarantee that. It's exactly how we do it. Copy is everything in terms of relating to your visitor. You can't just write whatever you want and expect the results, okay? So I'm going to pick a winner here, and I really think that Erica, you know, you really touched on, okay, you always wanted to be married, so why do you feel so trapped and unhappy? You always wanted to be married, so why do you feel so trapped and unhappy? That's pretty darn powerful, Erica. It really is. In fact, you should use that, if you haven't already, in your Facebook updates, your tweets, your email subject lines, your headlines to your sales letters, your opt-in pages, everything. That is super powerful. People will react to that. That's very strong. So, Erica, I'm going to give you the prize tonight of the social bookmarking system that Mark and I created. I'm going to mail that to you. I have the email addresses to you guys, the winners tonight, so I'm definitely going to be mailing that to you in the morning. And Erica says, thanks. Well, you. That's cool. Mike says, repeat Erica's. You always wanted to be married, so why do you feel so trapped and unhappy? You always wanted to be married, so why do you feel so trapped and unhappy? Everyone wants to be married, and so many marriages, people feel trapped. There's lacks of communication. There's all sorts of people losing their identity. There's all sorts of problems, and I feel that Erica can use that statement to address a million different things, to create a very strong philosophy in her sales, and to sell any kind of products, because people really want to change that situation. They're there looking for a solution, Erica and Mike. People came to her website looking for an answer to a problem. They feel trapped. And if she addresses that, she has them. She's brought them in emotionally and tackled the problem and has the solutions that they need, which would be a paid ebook, consultations, anything in the world. Okay, so that is very powerful. That's awesome, you guys. You did a very good job on that. I just want to ask you tonight. I know we've had a good time here. We've been laughing and we've been talking about stuff, and I know you guys, some of you've heard this webinar before, and I'm really glad you're here and spending your time with me tonight. Did I keep my promise? I want to ask you, did I keep my promise? You can just put a yes in the chat box. Did I show you what Google wants to see in a website content? Did I show you how to call to action creates a sales resistance with the beggar thing? That's really neat. I love that story anyway. Did I show you how love and conflict can be persuasive? You guys showed me how love and conflict can be persuasive by the great things that you wrote. And remember, we're having a Q&A here in just a minute, so stick with me. We can answer any kind of questions that you have, and I'll answer questions until the last person has no more questions anymore, okay? I'm here for the duration. I'm here for you guys tonight. Did I keep my promise in showing you how to increase your customer-centered words? And did I show you the benefits that are most important? Outline the big 8 and the big 3. I just wanted to make sure that I kept my promise. Everybody's saying yes, you solved the problem that I've been able to figure out. Thank you. Hell yes to all 5, Bob says. Wow, this is great. Perdita says yes. Sure, I did. Barbara says Yusuf says yes. Bob, thank you. Heather, Rachel, everybody says yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you guys being here tonight. But the most important thing, was I cute and funny? Yeah, because cute and funny, look at that face down there. How can you just, how can you not love that face? I'm just so adorable. I know you guys love me so much. But I want to make sure that I'm entertaining, and it wasn't too serious or anything like that. We want to have fun here because this is what how learning is great. Terry says I'm adorable. You're adorable too. Bob says not so much cute. Well, Bob, you know what, man? It's just, not important right now. You told me you were cute. Well, I'm not even going to go into that. We're not going to talk about what Bob mailed me. Diane's got to give me smiley faces just like the one down there at the bottom. That's great. Are really important. It's really important that you guys think I'm cute and funny. All right. I could have went on with this webinar. I know we're right at 59 minutes. So I didn't want to keep you. I want to respect your time tonight. But I could have kept going on all night because this stuff, I've got formulas for all sorts of different things. And we just went over 3 tonight. But there's a lot of other things that you need to know about when you're writing persuasive content for your website, your sales letters, your opt-ins, your social media, everything. One is writing in a conversational tone. Being able to write like you're talking to somebody, like a client face-to-face. It's extremely important that you learn that skill. Also, building a persona. What's your image like on the internet? If someone can't hold your hand or get a feel from you, like a psychic aura feel from you, how do they interpret your image and your persona online? Have you thought about how you look and how you come across? And your content has everything to do with building your image, more so than even just pictures of you. But framing yourself as an expert. Do you know just through your content or how other people write their content that you can have experts tell all their peeps that you're the best in your industry? What if you had somebody like Tony Robbins tell his people in his newsletter how great a doctor you were? Do you know how much traffic and money you would make? How can you get somebody like that to frame you as an expert? Are you leading your visitors to step-by-step results? And this is extremely something important that I mentioned in the beginning of the webinar. When someone comes to your website, are you giving them the results that they sit down and go, this really worked for me, so I'm going to buy this product or hire this person as a consultant or keep coming back to this blog each and every week because the stuff really works? Are you being hypey or are you actually giving people the results that they really need? Are you writing persuasive video scripts? YouTube, we talk about YouTube marketing. Mark and I have a YouTube product, and we've been teaching video marketing and how to get like the first page with YouTube videos. Do you realize how boring most of those videos are? They're too long, and they're kind of just drag on, and you're not using the things that really drag people in. What about your video scripts? This is something that you need to know about. And also building a huge fanship with social media. Are you writing the kinds of things that people find interesting? Are they unfollowing you or unfriending you or not liking your pages because the content is maybe just too pushy or just too egotistical and it's not really addressing the things that they find important? That's huge in social network. Well, tonight's webinar was sponsored by my Stealth Persuasion workshop, which I just want to talk about real quick here. These are workshop recordings that I had a workshop last year. It was 12 events that I held with live people where I presented slides and solutions and formulas for all of these things and more. And I recorded them. And now they're available to you. And I talked about article and blogging content, which we do every day. Everybody knows Jeff Herring, everybody, and how important content is and curation and getting out there all the time? Well, is your content and articles and blogs, are they as persuasive as they should be? And creating a product launch. Product launches are all about building excitement way before the product comes out. Are you able to do that okay? I have a whole workshop on that recorded. I also have a workshop on crafting the perfect sales letter, which is extremely important. How to create social proof. Everyone loves social proof. When everyone is recommending your product to their friends, that's the #1 way to make money online. How about getting characters to sell for you? What does McDonald's and Wendy's and every other company in the world have in common? They have fictional characters creating events and situations and drama that practically sell the products for them. So the CEO and the salesman don't have to do it. It's far more powerful. I also have there's situations and stories. You're unique. I talked about how unique you were in the beginning of the webinar, and how your life experiences are exactly the kind of thing that make you stand out from your competition and that people really want to know about and can learn from. That is the power that you have personally and how you should write. Also, crafting powerful teleclass and webinar closes. If you're going to teach people on a mass basis, making sales closes in a proper fashion and leading them to results is a great way to make money, and it's been the biggest thing that all myself and Tom and my friends and Mark Bullard and everybody else made a fortune on the webinars this year. Also, I talk about in the workshop recordings text messaging, and I talk about polls, I talk about forums, I talk about comments, I talk about anything to do with writing. That's opt-in pages and just everything. I love to write. This is 24 hours, it turned out, with including the Q&As, 24 hours of video recordings. I also am including in tonight this Stealth Persuasion ebook. I just wrote it. It just ended up on Kindle. It's 160 pages explaining everything about the recordings. And I have this 3 hours of over-the-shoulder training videos where I walk you through my sales letters, my opt-ins, and I show you exactly on a screen capture exactly how I wrote everything word by word. And this is crazy. And if everyone knew that I swiped their emails like Tom and Jeff and everybody, they'd be pissed. But I've got these great emails that high converting sales letters written by the masters that I happen to have been able to sneak a box of, and I have them in one big folder for you guys if you want to get that. So I have all the 24 hours of webinar recordings, the training videos, the ebook, and the swipe files, $730 value, and I'm offering that tonight for you guys for being a part of this webinar and taking your business seriously for just $97 or 3 payments of $37, and you can go over to expertwebwriting.com if you want to purchase that tonight, and I will definitely be here to help you. I have unlimited email support with this entire program, and I never leave anyone behind. I'm here, and you can trust me, and I've been around for 7 years, and I'm here to help you. Richard said, if you charged twice for your program, I'd buy and tell others to buy. You have been outstanding responding to emails and questions, and that is worth everything. And thank you, Richard, because he was a great customer who purchased, and I did charge you twice for the program because you're a friend of mine, Richard, and that's how I treat my friends. I'm just kidding. And Sonia says, thank you so much. You're the best. I can't wait to work together. That's great. I love Sonia. And the great Joanne Dahlketter, she said, Colin, you're amazing. Loving your content tonight. Did you hear that, guys? Did you hear that, Mark? She said, you're amazing, Colin. Yeah. Okay, let me get off of this. Enough talking about me about that. Oh, here's a super bonus. Before anyone decides or anyone sitting on the fence that they want to take part in the Stealth Persuasion workshop recordings, the super bonus is that you get to talk to me one-on-one. Send me your website, your sales letter, your opt-in, your blog post, ebook, anything you want. And I will personally critique it and show you how to change it to be the highest converting copy that it can be. I'll be your personal creative writing editor online for free as a super bonus. That's a $297 bonus. Now, it says the first 20 people. Now, I've been accused of that being a call to action. And I'm not going, and it's not a call to action. I'm critiquing all these ebooks and web content and sales letters and things like this takes a lot of time, and I don't want to have anyone left behind on that. So I kind of have to limit it to 20 of just you guys tonight. But if I can always work you in if we get past 20, but just letting you know that it can be very time consuming. So I just want to make sure that that we get everybody in tonight. So we get all these things here: the webinar recordings, the training videos, the ebook, the swipe files, and the one-on-one editing time. That's $1,000 worth of training tonight for just $97 to 3 payments of $37. Over at Expert Web Writing, I'd love to work with you tonight and help you make the best content and copy that you can. Now, see, this wasn't this hard tonight, guys, was it? Did I do a good job at trying to teach you to be better writers? You don't have to fear anything like this, and it's just a fantastic experience. And it's not hard to write. If you use the simple formulas that I show you, it can be a lot easier, and you don't have to hire a professional writer, and you don't have to be one. You don't have to go to a creative writing class at your community college. You can actually sit down and just identify just a few things. Just tweak what you think people come to your website for. Think about it maybe a different way, and you'll have a whole new philosophy on how you write on the web. And remember, content is king. Writing blog posts and articles and refreshing your content is extremely important to your success. So you want to make sure that from here on out, you're doing it correctly and doing it as most powerful and persuasively as you can. Now, we're going to have a Q&A right now, and I appreciate Mark letting me come to his community tonight, because this has been fantastic. You guys have been great. You've been attentive. You guys wrote some great stuff. You guys get it, and that makes me excited, because if I wouldn't be doing my job here if you guys didn't get it. And you also see kind of how easy this is. And really, it's easy, but it makes a huge impact, and it's made me a ton of money, and I'm really happy with how this. But not only that, people trust me, and the people that I help, their customers trust them. And in the self-help genre that most of my clients I work with are chiropractors and weight loss people and diabetes consultants and psychiatrists and marriage counselors and psychics and everyone else that basically want to help others and make the world a better place. This is extremely important that you're able to touch those people. I'm going to go ahead and go into the Q&A now, go over to Expert Web Writing to get all that stuff, instant downloads on everything, and work with me one-on-one. But I want to go ahead and get to the questions before it gets too late. And Diane says, when I see an email come in with a negative subject line, I delete it immediately without reading it because it sounds way too manipulative. Is this a bit like that? I think with email subject lines, Diane, the important thing is whether it's not negative or not, but whether it builds pain or not. There's negative in terms of just being asinine or being pushy, which is usually what I identify as like a spam email, and I just delete those as well. But if it identifies a pain that I may be thinking of, like it brings up the idea that I'm overweight and my type 2 diabetes is going out of control, I have to open the email to see if there's anything in there of a resource that I can use, because it's talking about the pain. So when you talk about negative subject lines, is it truly negative, or are you kind of twisting the knife on a problem that you know that your prospects have? So don't worry about twisting the knife or trying to feel the pain as being negative, because it's not. It's actually getting them to wake up a little bit. Sometimes tough love really helps, and everyone knows what that is, but it's not exactly negative. So Terry says, I've been working on video scripts all day, and now I have to go back and rewrite them. Yes, I know, understand that. I've rewritten plenty of stuff, Terry. I'm glad you learned something tonight. Terry says, I have no doubt your offer is invaluable, but I don't have the time to do it all. Do you offer rewriting since you love to write? Yes, I do. All you have to do is email me at videopower@live.com, and I'll write that in the screen here in just a minute, Terry, and can help anybody with their writing. If you don't have time to do it yourself, a lot of people don't, and I'm definitely here for you. And Todd says, our product is visual art. How do we create a love conflict statement? Visual art. I mean, are you talking about, Todd, products or just retail products? Because obviously with retail products, you have a limited amount of content in terms of, pulling heartstrings and things like that, because just retail and products and things like that don't really fall into that genre as much. But there still are ways to create a conflict, not necessarily conflict, but the creating a value in your visual arts. For instance, if they're graphic for computers, for instance, I don't know what kind of visual arts you're talking about, but if they're graphics for computers, or graphics that you do for brochures or sales letters or websites, there's a lot of conflict that the graphics that most people use are dizzying or confusing or too much colors or the wrong colors or the wrong sizes or they're too big a file. And it's just a million problems with a lot of visual art in terms of graphics that never work properly. Can you identify the problems that people have and address that? If they're for your home or your office, how can you have your products make it look like you're adding value to your home, or you're finding peace within your home? I did the content copy for people who were doing water sculptures. Okay, it's just a retail business. They built water sculptures, like these little waterfalls. They're about 3 feet high, and they're like $1,000 or something, and you put them in your house. Well, those were perfect because people, after a long day of work, and the bus yelling at them, and they just don't have the time, and it's hot outside, and they get caught in traffic. How nice it is to come home, put your feet up, and listen to that cool, rushing water in the corner of your living room. Little things like that. What I do there is I try to identify the benefits again. The benefit of most physical items or retail items is making people feel comfortable or making their life easier. So think about that, Todd, in terms of your visual stuff. Terry says, I have a welcome video script, 90 seconds, and 5 FAQ video scripts, 30 seconds each. Can I submit all those together? You absolutely can. I'll look at anything with the editing bonus that I offered. It can be anything you write. So whatever is, you have a bunch of videos. I've critiqued video scripts for a lot of people, and it's made a huge difference. Okay, please tell me the website again. Well, it's expertwebwriting.com. You can see it right there. And that's where you can purchase the Stealth Persuasion program and look at all the recordings and the swipe files and the emails and everything, and plus get to work with me personally. That's worth $97 all by itself, if you ask me. All right, Tom says, I just purchased and was wondering what is the best way to go through your program. Well, it starts out in, you have full access to everything. So the first thing you might want to look at is, I have the ebook, and you might want to just go through that, and it kind of follows the same pattern as the link to all the videos. The videos start at one point and kind of work their way through to the end. And when you go to the video page, you'll see that there's 12 workshops that I recorded, starting with webinar closes and ending with writing like an author and writing stories and everything in between. So when we had the workshops live, I presented those in order. They were like every 10 days or so, and people loved that with the Q&A and everything. So you can just start out with the first video, and of course, just write me and send me the stuff you want me to critique. Tom, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Shirley says, I learned about tapping just yesterday and did it once. I slept 9 hours last night. Tapping.com articles.htm. Also heard about body talk yesterday. Do a search, might help your diabetes. Thank you. That camping trip I did for 10 weeks. I lowered my blood sugar by like 130 points. It used to be when I'd get up in the morning fasting, it was 160. Okay, if you guys know anything about blood glucose levels. And then while I was on my camping trip, and now even after, I get up and my fasting blood sugar in the morning is 70. I mean, that's below normal. It's ridiculous. I'm almost a new man. Couple that with losing 25 pounds, finding all those gemstones, and having a major spiritual experience. That was the best 10 weeks of my life. What I want for you guys is to be able to write the kind of content that brings money in automatically, where people come in and keep coming back, so that you're able to make a dream come true like that, like I did, which was a dream I've been dreaming about for 3 years, and go out there and live somewhere or travel for 10 weeks and not have to work and just have the money rolling in on automatic. That's fantastic. I'd love for you guys to have that kind of dream come true. Shirley says, is writing content different now than it was 20 or 30 years ago? Absolutely. The biggest changes are the way content is delivered. the internet. It used to be you would see a billboard and you might see some ads or some books or a TV show or something, but now you're inundated with thousands and thousands of emails and ads and pop-up boxes and 162 cable channels and 90 million or 600 million literally web pages on the internet, plus a flashing billboard, signs and video advertisements, and people are becoming numb to this. I think surely you should realize just how much competition there is with your writing and how you really have one shot to touch the heartstrings of people and to try to rise above that noise. That's literally noise to me. And sometimes a few gems stand out, surely, that just make me want to sign up or buy something or just be included in the conversation or even literally just share that with my friends. And this is what we're talking about tonight. Tom says, how long do I have to request your assessment of my web copy? However long. You can contact me a year from now and I'm going to help you out, Tom. There's no limits here. Some people that have bought my Stealth Persuasion program don't even have a website written yet. And they used the program before they wrote the website, so they would have to go back and rewrite the entire website. So if you want me to help you get it started, a project or an ebook or a website, this is what I'm talking about. So even if you don't have a website at all, this is the perfect plan for that so you don't mess up in the first place. Gary says, I'm creating 2 short 2-minute business videos, good, where I just talk about methods and techniques with no script. That's good. Info only, no call to action. Is there any way to use your info to improve my presentation? Really, that's a good formula there, just to talk with no script. First off, I don't like scripts on videos because it kind of looks canned, and people can tell that you're reading the script no matter how much you try to hide it or how polished it looks. On YouTube and on the internet, especially with the videos, Gary, being candid and saying a few times and just being normal and talking to somebody in your own voice, like you'd be talking to a client right across the table at a bar, is the highest converting videos, and especially if they're only 2 minutes, because people won't watch a video longer than 2 minutes anyway, okay? So don't make them too long. What you want to do, Gary, with your methods and techniques is double back on it a little bit and make sure that the methods and techniques don't sound too processy, that you're trying to explain yourself too much. What you want to do is constantly keep affirming the reason why they're watching the video. Now, they're not watching the video, Gary, just because it came on TV or they just ran across it. Remember this, Gary, they searched Google, and they searched Google for an answer to a problem. They're looking for a solution to a problem. Your video came up, and they're watching it. Now, you have 2 minutes to address their issue. Now, you don't have to answer the problem, but you have to make it known that you understand why they're there. So if somebody comes up and they are looking to cure their diabetes, for instance, like I am, I search videos all over YouTube for lowering my blood sugar. I want the person to understand where I'm coming from. Gaining weight, that it seems like I can't lose the weight. Why are carbs so bad for me? Why are certain foods are irritating my blood sugar? What ultimately is this blood sugar going to do to me? I mean, tell me the pain, address why I'm there, and make sure that you're not talking too much, Gary, about the process, because you don't want to bore people. You want to relate to the why they're there. And just remember, all of you here tonight, just remember that if you realize that no one's looking for information, no one on the internet is looking for more information. They're only looking for solutions. Okay, just remember that. And when you do, you'll see a huge increase in conversion. Okay? Terry says, I thought you mentioned another one to work with, but with you beyond this offer, I'll be signing up, so maybe it doesn't matter. Okay, if you have any questions like that, Terry, just contact me. So I hope you're going to work with me, Terry. That's great. Oh, and I'm also sending you congratulations, Terry and Erica, for getting the social bookmarking webinar. Oh, actually, thanks, guys, for staying this late. Also it's 22 after 8, and I know I want to finish up this Q&A. I can always get a little bit long-winded here, but I'm going to give away another social bookmarking system to you guys that are left. And Diane, you've been just really good here with the questions, so I'm going to give you another social bookmarking system. That's 3 I've given away tonight. You're going to love that, Diane. It's great. So Erica says, please tell me, did I win Stealth Persuasion night or something else? Erica, you won the social bookmarking system, which is a completely different system, but it's sponsored by Mark and I. Todd, thank you so much for all your great information. Thank you, Todd, for being here and taking this so seriously and taking it seriously, so that's great. Diane says, thanks for everything, Colin. I have to go to dinner now. Well, that's good. I would be more interested in hiring you to write than doing it myself. That's fine. I'm here for you guys. That's exactly why I exist, to write and help you guys. Tom says, do research on green smoothies and diabetes. They work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anything I can do to lower this, keep this sugar off. Now that I'm back in society, I don't want to gain all my weight back. You know what I mean? Barbara says, thanks, Colin, off the Spanish class. Thank you, Barbara and Brooks, for being here tonight. That's great. Terry says, I still have to submit my website for review. That's fine. Anytime you want to do that, you can. Todd says, chromium pinctolate and cinnamon help keep blood sugar levels even. Use stevia if you don't have to use a sweetener. It doesn't affect sugar index. Cheers. Thank you, Todd. See, that's what I like about working with you guys, is that I get more killer health information than anything. That's worth all the time of being here and teaching you this stuff, is I just get this great advice on how to be healthier. I've got people writing me all the time. It's just crazy, and I feel guilty. I don't follow half their advice sometimes. They get mad at me. All right, Shirley says, this summer I want to record a quick PowerPoint to post on YouTube to introduce my Bible Bites. Besides discussing benefits of responding to just one verse a day, what else would you suggest? I want to record a PowerPoint, YouTube, introduce my Bible Bites. Benefits. The biggest thing, and this kind of goes for everybody, and that may be a very specific question. And I'll definitely probably write you a private email about that, Shirley. But the biggest thing that we forget, and what everyone here needs to remember, is we need to identify what it is, the exact benefits, and what are the solutions to problems that our target market is searching for, not just like everyone. You can't make a product that just is for everyone, okay? You have to understand your audience, and that was one of the first things in the first slides that I talked about. You need to understand why they're there, your specific peeps, why are they looking, what is their issues, what are their problems, and then talk to them in their own language. So I think, Shirley, you probably know your audience better than anyone else, including myself. So you might want to think about a few things, and you can email me at videopower@live.com, and we can talk about that further, Shirley. But what I want you to do is try to identify some of the things that your target market feels that they need, or solutions that they need, and try to jot that stuff down and make sure that's exactly in your content as well. Terry says, already through checkout. Thank you. Thank you for purchasing. Thank you, Terry. Thank you for purchasing, Perdita. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Vicky, for buying that tonight. You guys are great. This has been awesome. Diane says, thank you. As you can see, I didn't leave yet. Okay, yeah, that's right. I gave you the free product. Definitely got to write this down here so I don't forget. Serena. Oh, Dr. Serena. Hi, how are you doing? She says, great info. Thank you so much. Tom says, oh, he gave me a site, intervalsmoothies.com, green smoothies, diabetes, /diabetes. Thank you. I need to check that out, Tom. See, you guys love me. You guys are watching out for my health here. I got Vicky, my girlfriend, laying here watching me, and she's constantly trying to keep me healthy. You know how girlfriends are, and I love her for that. Terry Ward, videopower@live.com is what I heard you say earlier and missed. Yes, videopower@live.com. You guys can write me anything. You don't have to buy the program. If you want to write me a question, anything that we don't get addressed here, because we're going to have to end here shortly because I don't want to keep you guys up. I know you guys got family things that you need to do tonight. I thank you so much for being with me tonight and spending that kind of time, because it means that you're serious about your business. And I've learned a lot from you as much as you've learned from me. So I really appreciate that. And so I want to end here. But if we don't get your questions asked, go ahead and write me at videopowerlive.com and I'll answer it anyway. So Shirley says, thanks for the suggestions. Shirley says, I already have your bookmarking program. Oh, that's cool. That's great. I appreciate that. Mark and I love that program. It really works for us. And I'm already signed up for about 8 other programs, so I won't be signing up tonight. That's fine. You can write me anytime, Shirley, and if you have any questions anytime, just write me. I'm here for you guys no matter what. Now that you've been here, you can just write me. Yusef says, do you still tell YouTube viewers to click the link below the video at the end of the video? Do you still retain that call to action? Yeah. The only reason is that's not so much a call to action as buy my product and survive the nuclear war or whatever it is, this massive, sorry about that, guys, that keeps popping up. That's not a call to action so much as it is a reminder to take the next step. That's a little different. And with video, sometimes they're watching the video and they're engaged on it, like on YouTube, and then there's a link at the bottom and they might not see that. And it's okay to remind them that the link is there. What I like to do, and here's a secret trick, and I'm going to give you a special bonus tip tonight that I didn't include in for just the people hanging on tonight for the Q&A. YouTube videos. How do you keep someone staying till the end of the video when you make your offer? Right at the beginning of the video, you mention that you have a special gift or a special offer or thing at the end of the video, in the beginning of the video. Don't just start talking about what the video is about and just running into your pitch and your business and then giving your ebook at the end or ask them to sign up or buy a product. So I usually say something like this, and I'm just making this up at the top of my head. We're going to talk about potato farming. Okay. YouTube video starts. They click watch it. Hi, I'm Colin. I know you're here looking for tips on potato farming. I got this great tip that I'm going to show you to grow the best potatoes in just a minute. But right now, I want to show you this great resource that I have to growing the best potatoes even in the wintertime. Now, stay to the end of the video for a special free offer that I have to show you how to increase your yield more than by 20% by this time next season. And then you go into your tip and you tell them the great tip, and then they'll stick around for that free offer because you reminded them that it was coming up. If you don't do that, they'll tend to get the tip and then leave real quick, and then you haven't had your chance to get them to sign up or say click the link or anything else. So always remind them what's coming up in the end of the video, and that works really good. It's a stealthy way to keep them on the page longer. So if you guys have any other questions, go ahead and ask them, or we're going to get going because it is 8:30, and I'm glad you guys stuck around. If you don't have any other questions, just go over to Expert Web Writing and make sure that you join up to the Stealth Persuasion System workshops tonight and work with me personally. And if you have any questions that we don't address here on the Q&A, you can definitely write me at videopoweratlive.com and I'll answer them. Also, there'll be a recording sent out tomorrow. I'll go ahead and get that recording all set up, and you guys can watch this and learn and keep watching it. And also, there'll be a way to download the slides as well.